Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Week 3 just pretty much ended. I got some Monday Night Football in the background. But Kraft, did you have a good week 3? What's up? You mad? You sad? What's happening?
Man, I'm always mad. Some of these players just cannot get right, bro. I ain't never gonna be happy till all my players perform the way they're supposed to. But win some, we lose some. But overall, been a pretty good week.
Yep, I definitely, let's see, the leagues that are my top 2 leagues, definitely getting wins in those. 3-0 in the home league. I know they hating. I know they mad. But yeah, man. In that redraft league,
You
I'm
must be
looking
playing
stout.
against some suckers. Yeah, you are looking good, man. You 2-1, I'm 1-2. I got some work to do. I got Swift in there. He's hurt. I got Dalvin Cook in there. He's hurt. I got to figure out something in that one.
The decision to go tied in early, went Mark Andrews in the late second round, has definitely paid off so far. So far, so good.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping my eye on that in like all my leagues to see the people who drafted Kelsey and Andrews, and whoever did draft Andrews, them teams are winning right now. So
yeah,
tied in early might have been a good strategy this year.
Shoot, we just gonna recap what we saw last week, maybe what we saw all through the first 3 weeks, but let's hop on the news. What's going on out there?
I'm gonna hop through this real quick. Got about 10 things. Just gonna hit it. So Mac Jones got hurt, high ankle sprain. He gonna miss multiple games. They're saying, and could have surgery. So New England's offense, as shitty as it was already, is gonna get shittier. So
don't want any part of that.
Yeah, don't want no part of it. All right, that's Mac Jones. Keenan Allen expected to return to practice this week. The Chargers need him.
Yeah.
They look very, very – they didn't even get off the bus on Sunday to play against the Jaguars. But
some of that could have been Herbert. He's dealing with some rib cartilage. Or he's being soft. I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, that's another piece of it. They said he didn't have any setbacks on Sunday, so that's good news, even though he probably shouldn't even play to begin with. But Tua didn't practice today, which is Monday. They play on Thursday. So, yeah. And same thing with Jalen Waddle. He got added to the injury report. Groin injury. Who knows? Tua looked like he was concussed or something out there, but they brought him back in anyway. Yeah. He couldn't even stand up straight. But I'm glad he came in because I didn't want old Teddy Bridgewater to come in there.
Nah. Real football-wise, though, I feel like the Dolphins might feel all right throwing Teddy Bridgewater out there Thursday.
No, dude. I hope so. Not. I just hope not. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, if he came back and played in the same game, he should be fine Thursday, I would think. But, unless they didn't say he's in concussion protocol. They said it's a back injury. So it's just going to be if he can – just how he feels, I guess.
Definitely gotta be on the lookout for this situation, especially with them playing Thursday. Too. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely something to look out for. And if Bridgewater does start, it downgrades everybody on that offense, in my opinion. So
yep.
Don't expect as much. But Jalen Guyton, he hadn't got much play this year. But this is more of a Joshua Palmer note. But Jalen Guyton is out for the season with the ACL. So the 3 receivers for the Chargers are Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joshua Palmer. And if any of them miss time, Joshua Palmer's an every week start. He's kind of already shown that. So it's more news for him. Dalvin Cook, his shoulder just popped out just like Mr. Potato Head. You take the arm off every year. Every year. This is like, you can set it on the calendar. Dalvin Cook's his shoulder's about to pop out right about now.
Yep.
So he's so used to it. They just saying it's day to day. He'll probably
Yeah.
wear that little thing he wears whenever it pops out. So
Yeah, I wouldn't
uh,
be too concerned as an owner. If you're an owner of Dalvin Cook, you might be a little concerned this week, but long term, I think you'll be all right. Even in the short term, I think you'll be just fine.
yeah, Madison's owned in all leagues probably anyway. So, but if Madison's on the waiver wire,
Go snag
pick
him.
him up for sure.
Man, what else you
Uh,
got for us?
Rashawn Slater, the right guard or left guard, I'm not sure, but I think it's right guard for the Chargers. He's a badass. He's out for the season.
Mm.
So Eckler, a lot of these top running backs, man, their offensive linemen are dropping like flies, and it does affect them. So
What you make of the Eckler situation right now? I think he only had 4 carries last week.
dude, don't even get me on this freaking. I was on a tirade earlier. We're talking to Ian about Eckler and stuff, but they need to run the football, man. I don't understand. They had like you said, 4 carries, man. Um,
4 carries for 5 yards. Did have 8 targets, 8 receptions. Kind of saved the day a little bit if you're in a PPR league, but he hasn't really had that good of a year so far. Ranked, I think it's let's see, 13 RB 13 in PPR leagues. Half PPR is probably a little worse than that, I'd imagine.
there's nothing you can do. I mean, like, and this isn't me saying, tisk for drafting him. It's just he scored 20 touchdowns last year, and he's not going to do that this year. So you're just not going to get crazy numbers out of him. He's going to be, with the reception work he gets. If he don't score the touchdowns, you're sitting at around 15 points or so. But the high upside without the goal line work and stuff is just gone with Eckler. I feel like.
Is that about all the news?
Taylor Lewan's out for the year for the Titans, so that affects Derrick Henry. DeAndre Swift sprained shoulder.
Yeah.
They're just saying he could miss some time and probably not going to need surgery. So Jamal Williams, go snag him up for
Yeah,
sure. Play him even if at this point.
I think if you are an owner of DeAndre Swift, I think you might should expect to miss a couple weeks without him.
Yeah,
So go ahead and start making plans.
yeah, man, sucks, but it is what it is. But Michael Thomas, he went out Sunday, but they're saying it's likely not serious. So keep an eye on that. And David Montgomery's day to day too. Day to day isn't as bad as week to week.
Yeah.
It just means it's maybe like a 1 week absence, 2 weeks or so. But
So if
you
Khalil
know,
Herbert is on your waiver wires, which I don't, if you're in a good league, he's probably not. But go get him and play
that
him. Well,
that
if
pissed me off so bad, man. Sunday, I knew Montgomery was going to go off against Houston, and it was not him, bro. It was Khalil Herbert, and it should have been Montgomery, man.
man, so I think that about wraps up the news,
That's the news.
man. Yeah. So week 3. We'll just run through some of these leaders, see who went off last week. Maybe some like a quarterback, Lamar. I believe this is number 1 2 weeks in a row. I think. Uh,
Yep, 2 weeks in a row.
Scored 40 points last week. Jalen Hurts with the number 2 finish. Trevor Lawrence with the number 3. Let me ask you a Jalen Hurts question real quick. Let's just say we're in a dynasty startup. We're in a startup dynasty draft, and you're going quarterback. Would you consider taking Jalen Hurts over Kyler Murray?
Yes, yeah, I've seen enough, dude, and this is coming. I remember we had Levi on, and he was saying how much he hates Kyler. I'm starting to see why, bro. Kyler
Yeah.
is a baby. He's a baby out there on the field. I like Jalen Hurts. I think that this coach and staff and this offense a lot better than Arizona looks right now and for the future because they're young.
Yep, Jalen Hurts is quarterback 3 on the year so far. Definitely looks sharp. Um, Trevor Lawrence with the number 3 finish. 2 good weeks in a row. Quarterback 10. Let's see. Last week he had 18 fantasy points. This week he had 25. What you think about my boy, about my guy, Trevor Lawrence, balling
Hey
out?
man, hey man, one thing you learn about me is I will take back my words if I'm not gonna sit here and just keep hating on somebody who keeps doing good. So you know the Jaguars are looking good right now. I'm still not falling for that the Jaguars are like some crazy good team. But golly, he needed Doug Peterson and he's making him look. Trevor Lawrence looks like he got some confidence back. He's looking like a good quarterback who's in a good system that knows how to help him out and
Yeah,
use his abilities.
I think you said it right. New coach. They look like they're a little more buttoned up this season. A little more going on. Getting some help from the run game too, with Robinson going off unexpectedly. I definitely wasn't seeing all that. At running back, Khalil Herbert with 30 points. Um,
This last week was weird, dude.
yeah.
The leaders last week are not your typical, leaders.
Derrick Henry with a bounce back week. I had the running back number 2. These are in
Yeah,
PPR stand leagues because I believe Derrick Henry, let's see, had 5 receptions for 58 yards yesterday. I mean, if
that's
he's
great.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're getting that receiving work. Had a touchdown. So Derrick Henry definitely had a good game with the running back 2 finish. Jamal Williams taking all the goal line. He finished as a
Taking all
running
the
back
work.
3,
Mm-hmm.
taking all the goal
He,
line work from Swift, which is killing me. But if Swift's gonna be out a couple weeks, probably gonna have to play Jamal Williams, and I feel pretty good about it.
yeah, I feel the same, man. Jamal Williams he still looks good out there, and it's just the way of the world now, Matt. Committees
Yeah,
and Swift ain't fully healthy, and even if when Swift is healthy, he's still gonna get the goal line work. So right now, with Swift out, he's an RB2. With Swift in, he's a flex.
Devin Singletary finished
So
at 4. He's yesterday had a pretty big game, 24 points, best game of the year. Mostly came through the catching the ball. He had 11 targets, 9 receptions for 78 yards, and a touchdown. He looks good every time he gets the ball. Whenever he gets to work, he's easily the best running back in Buffalo, if that was ever a question.
yeah, I don't feel like there's ever been a question of if he's good or not. Just are they going to give him the ball? They still threw 63 times.
Yeah,
And do you think with the Bills? I mean, they lost. I would still, in my opinion, I'd still say the Bills are the team to beat in the NFL.
yeah,
Is that what you? They
agree.
got. They still need a run game, dude. It's gonna come back to bite them in the ass when it gets cold and it's in Buffalo and they're in the playoffs at 20-degree weather. They need to be able to run the ball.
Cordell Patterson, in 2 out of the 3 games, have scored 22 points. Continue to play him. Should you be wary of getting beat up and falling off towards the back half of the year? Are you selling?
I would not to say that I think he's going to fall off a cliff, but you could probably we're in Atlanta. I mean, we're in Georgia. You can probably get. I mean, the hometown love for Cordero. You can probably get a good load for him. I feel like. I mean, if you want to go out there and grab somebody, but
Yeah.
he's still been great. He's great to keep if you want to just roll with him every week too.
James Robinson
I'd
with the
like to see what their
number
schedule.
Yep, James Robinson with the number 6 finish. been just proving me wrong every step of the way. This was another one that this is one that I was definitely wrong on. I definitely wasn't expecting James Robinson to be going off. Running back number 2 on the year. I mean, sheesh. James Robinson is just balling out.
Yeah, bro. I don't think. I think you could ask anybody that we know. Shoot, hit up my cell phone tomorrow. Call me if you said, "Hey, James Robinson's going to be a top 5 running back in the first couple weeks."
Yeah.
Like nobody's seen it coming. Like this Jacksonville thing, the whole offense, Christian Kirk, James Robinson, Trevor Lawrence, they look great, and I sure as hell didn't call it.
Yesterday at wide receiver position, Devontae Smith was your number 1 wide receiver in PPR leagues, had 30 points. Another one where my theory looked good on the Eagles at first. He didn't do anything week 1, but weeks 2 and 3 coming along. He's the number 18 wide receiver on the year. Yesterday, he had 8 receptions on 12 targets and a touchdown. Big
Yeah,
day for Devontae
21 yards
Smith.
per catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he 21 yards per catch. I mean, he made some contested catches too. He looked good, but this offense, it wasn't. When me and you were doing our rankings, it wasn't us talking about Devontae Smith's a bad player. It was, is Philadelphia going to become a pass heavy offense?
Yeah.
And that's what we needed to see. And I think that they're definitely more balanced than they were last year. I think they're going to keep on chunking it.
Yeah. I think I think as the first 3 games of the year, I think I've just gained a respect for Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, is what I'm thinking. That's why, I was thinking he's going to be good, of course, but I think we're just seeing how good he is. I feel like a lot of these targets, a lot of these wide receivers you could play, like even if you have to play a Quez Watkins one day in deep leagues, obviously, but Jalen Hurts is just good. Dallas Goddard's looking good. I know he's hurt. I don't know if we said anything in the news about that, but Jalen Hurts is just balling out. These guys can play.
I was talking with Ian earlier today. I said if you just went in your fantasy draft and drafted all Philadelphia players, you'd probably be like 3-0 right now if you had every single one of them.
Yeah.
Like they're all overperforming. Maybe Miles Sanders, but he still hadn't done terrible. But Devontae, going back to Devontae Smith and his huge week, I want to hear your opinion. I would just say start him every week, and you're just going to have some ups and downs, pretty much.
Yep. Same thing. The same opinion. That's the same thing I feel about AJ Brown, pretty much. So same thing with Devontae. At number 2,
Yeah.
Mac Hollins, Las Vegas, Las Vegas.
Get
Thir-
out. Get out of here, dude. Get the hell out of here, man.
who did you play Mac Hollins yesterday, man? What's up?
Oh yeah, I played him everywhere, dude. What do you mean? He was in my. I drafted him.
8 receptions, 158 yards, 1 touchdown. Crazy, man.
Yep, drafted him in the first round, man. It was a good pick for me. Rest
Yeah,
of
I
them
heard
won.
that. Yep. A lot of these wide receivers up here are not. You got Hollywood Brown with the number 3 finish. He's the number 8 wide receiver on the year so far. Yesterday had 14 receptions. The Cardinals, man, they're just a bad football team. I'm just
Oh,
being honest. They suck, man.
they really do. I can't stand watching that team, bro.
Yeah.
And they play at 4, so I have to like. There's only like 3 games on, and I always end up having to. Red zone always switches over to the Cardinals. I'm like, get this crap off my screen.
Man,
They're down by 40.
Zay Jones going off yesterday. Um, had 11 targets from Trevor Lawrence. This offense is definitely evolving. Zay Jones, Christian Kirk had a good day yesterday too. So
So you taking this in stride? How are you treating this? How are you treating these receivers? I know Christian Kirk is definitely in your lineups, but how are you treating the Zay Jones? I
yeah,
guess Evan experience, Trevor Lawrence. Like, are they starters now every week or?
I don't know about Zay Jones, but in 2 of the 3 weeks he did play good, so it's questionable. You could definitely play Zay Jones if you just have to, and there's worse plays. Christian Kirk's obviously a start. He's been a start for me all year.
Yeah, yeah, he's looking great. You
Um,
were correct on that one. We've been talking about what we've been wrong about. We've been right about some stuff. You definitely hit on Hollywood and Christian Kirk.
Shoot, well, I got one. I'm about to bring up one right here that we both have swung and missed. You for sure have swung and missed. Amari Cooper with the number 7 finish.
Jeez.
I mean, what in the hell? This is one that I just can't comprehend. I'm wrong on it. You said you wouldn't even have this guy rostered in PPR leagues. He's number 12 wide receiver on the year. But the thing is when you said it, I wasn't exactly disagreeing with you. At week
It was the
one,
first. Yeah.
yeah, in week one he had 4 points, but in week two he had 25, and week three he had 23. 21 targets in those 2 games.
I'm holding I'm holding to my guns on this one, bro. He should be rostered. I will take that back. He should be rostered. And I guess he should be started, but this ain't gonna keep up, man.
Yeah.
I cannot see it. I can't see it. But it is what it is. I'm happy he's doing good. I don't want to see people do bad, but
Yeah.
shoot, when they prove me wrong, I kind of do want to see him do a little bit worse.
Shoot, in PPR leagues, Mark Andrews with the number 1 finish yesterday. And Joku with the number 2, and Travis Kelsey with the number 3 finish. And Joku, we have been saying throughout these episodes that it's not a bad play. It paid off if you played him last week.
Yeah. Hey, I was right about this one. I had Mark Andrews over Kelsey in my rankings, and it's happening so far, but
Yep.
it's so minuscule that it don't really matter.
Tight end 1, Kelsey's the tight end 2. Conklin,
Boom.
I know you said something about him just last week. Been getting a lot of targets.
Man, I broke out of my tight end slump last week. I picked up Conklin in one league and then Joku in the other, and
Man,
started both of them. It was beautiful. I'm still probably gonna lose though.
8 for 8 to Tyler Conklin last week. 16 fantasy points in PPR leagues. Gotta give you credit for that one, Kraft. But yeah,
It's
man, let's.
crazy, but let me look up something on Conklin because before last week, CJ Uzama was supposed to come back last week, and the week previous, Conklin played 100% of snaps, and last week he played 79%, so it did drop with Uzama back, and Zach Wilson is coming back, so I don't even know if I'm going to start him anymore. I
Yeah,
think it's I think it was a 1 week rental for me if they're going to be splitting snaps and Zach Wilson comes back. I
yeah,
don't know. I might hold on to him for a week, but I think I'll start. Might try to find somebody else this week
yeah.
or
I'm
get
with
in
you.
line.
I don't know what it's gonna look like when Zach Wilson comes back. I know they've been slinging it with Joe Flacco, so yep, man. I'm just looking at some of these week 3 um scores. We got Monday Night Football going on right now in the second quarter. It's 3-0. These teams ain't no good. Um,
I got some prize picks on that. Has Daniel Jones thrown an interception yet?
I don't think so.
Has Tony Pollard done anything? I'm up by 11 points if and my dad has Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
totally sure. I ain't even been watching. Daniel Jones just got sacked.
You ain't no help, bro.
Man, what you call it? New Orleans versus Carolina. I wanted to get your opinion on what are we looking at this wide receiver room with the New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave yesterday had 13 targets. Is there a chance this guy is the number 1 receiver by the end of the year? We're saying this is the number 1 guy
The number one, what you mean on the
on the
Saints? The number one.
Saints. I feel like Michael Thomas is viewed that still right now, but
Why are you even asking me that, bro? You know how I feel about
Hey,
Michael Thomas.
well, don't you think we've been kind of wrong about Michael Thomas though so far?
He scored touchdowns, man, and I'm not. I ain't backing up. Like I Michael Thomas has done. He's done fairly well, but it's been on the back of touchdowns, not the targets and the yards.
He's the wide.
Olave is
Um,
different.
Michael Thomas is a wide receiver 16 right now.
Mm-hmm. He is. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Mac Hollins is like wide receiver 10 too, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Justin Jefferson scored 2 points the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's a crazy world in which we live in right now.
Yep. Chris Olave, I do think he is. When he came out of the draft, I was saying he was the most NFL ready wide
I agree.
receiver, and these Ohio State guys have looked good so far.
13 targets 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep. Definitely a keeper. Definitely a good draft pick. You probably got him like as the sixth wide receiver in your rookie draft, I bet. Man, let's move on, man. I see Houston and Chicago. Damian Pierce finally had a game, got 20 carries, 80 yards, one touchdown, two receptions, fumbled twice. But what are we thinking about this Damian Pierce situation now? Are we thinking about we can get to the point where we can start him or
I think me and you have been dead correct about Damian Pierce all year. Is just play your matchups with him. If it's going to be a close game against another crappy team, then definitely play him. If it's going to be a terrible game script and they're going to be if they're playing like the Bills or the Rams or something, he probably ain't going to do nothing. So,
yeah.
but that was a pretty. I felt like that we both predicted that matchup against Chicago that it was going to be a good week for him last week.
Would you play him next week versus the Chargers?
No, they're going to be. You know, you can probably do worse. I guess it just depends on everybody's teams, but I would. I don't think I would.
Khalil
Even though James
Herbert.
Thompson just ran all over.
Khalil Herbert. Obviously, what are we looking like with Khalil Herbert? Like, what are they saying about Montgomery? What did we say was day to day?
Yeah, day to day.
Are you playing Herbert even though what's his name might come in? Like, how do you feel? Are you throwing Herbert in your lineup no matter what, or does
Does
Montgomery
Montgomery status?
Montgomery have to be out?
Yeah, he has to be out. Khalil Herbert with Montgomery in had a 29% snap share and a 20% snap share in the first couple weeks. So, and that leads to about in between 5 and 10 carries with Montgomery there. So that's just not.
Yeah.
I ain't betting on. I ain't betting on 5 to 10 carries a week.
Yep.
But if Montgomery's out, bro, he's a must start RB1/RB2 probably.
Kansas City played the Colts. Kansas City with the loss. Uh,
Losers, they suck.
Jonathan Taylor, are we concerned about Jonathan Taylor? He's not having that number one overall season. He's number 9, so it's really nothing to panic. But first
Freaking
week he got
loser.
27. Week 2 he got 7. Week 3 he got 12. How do we feel about Taylor? Is it just Matt Ryan sucks and the offense ain't working out, or what you
No,
think?
no, I ain't worried a bit about Jonathan Taylor. He 21 attempts. I feel like week one they gave him 31 attempts and they lost or they tied to Houston, but they gave him 31 attempts. So the next game they're like, we can't give him that much work. He's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
They gave him 9 rushing attempts. They lost like crazy to Jacksonville, and then against Kansas City they corrected themselves and said, let's get the ball, Jonathan Taylor, man. I think it'll help us win games, you know.
yeah,
So he started off kind of slow last year, slower than this year. I think he's fine.
yep.
He's about to blow up.
I want to say something about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think now would be a good time to sell him.
I'm
Yeah,
not on that type train either, man.
he
He
had
ain't
a
getting
he had a
enough.
touchdown yesterday, 5 receptions, but only had 7 carries. I mean, McKinnon had 7 carries, so I think it'd be a good time to sell Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's the number 3 running back right now. I know you don't think that's gonna keep up.
This is the biggest smoke and mirrors of all the running backs in there, man. His attempts through the 3 weeks. He had 7 rushing attempts week 1, 8, and then 7 again. But he
Yeah,
scored. How many touchdowns has he scored? He scored 3 touchdowns in 3 games.
yeah,
7 attempts plus the catches. He's getting about 3 to 5 catches, so about I don't know 12 total attempts a game. If
yep.
he don't get touchdowns, it's not looking good.
So
But
sell,
you
sell,
start
sell.
him, start him every week for sure. But
Yeah, go for it. But see what you can get.
he'd
Uh,
be gone trying to ship him off.
man, Buffalo and Miami. It was a little not as high scoring as people would have thought, but like Isaiah McKenzie, you've been pretty right about McKenzie so far. He had the big day for the Buffalo Bills, along with Singletary. Switched it up a little bit. Diggs had a little bit of a quieter day. Tyreek Hill was shut down for the Dolphins. Edmonds had a better day. What you make of
Yeah,
that game right there? Did you get to watch any of it?
Edmonds. Yeah, I watched that one. That was a good one. But Edmonds is a sell high for me too. Two
Yeah.
touchdowns. That's it, and hardly any work whatsoever. Sell high with Edmonds. McKenzie, as much as I'd love to say that I'm right, yeah, he did great. It was only one game, and he still only played 50% of snaps. So Jamison Crowder is still getting out there and getting involved. So until I see like 70% of snaps and like McKenzie is the slot guy for sure,
Yeah.
you want the slot guy in the Buffalo offense,
Oh
but
yeah.
you don't want it to be split.
Yep. Yesterday, like you said, he played 51% of the snaps. So definitely needs to come up. With Tua hurt and then playing Teddy Bridgewater, everybody gets a little downgrade. We agreed on that.
Yeah, another thing on McKenzie though, with Buffalo, 50% of the snaps, if they throw the ball 63 times, that's like another slot receiver playing 100% of snaps and a team throwing 30 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they're throwing that much, 50%, that's still a lot of opportunities, a lot of routes being ran. So I'd look at that too if they keep on just chunking the ball left and right.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, he he get a little banged up yesterday, is that right?
Yeah, he had a little and rolled his ankle a little bit. He came back out there. I think, them ankle things, they can linger for a while. So,
Like we
but
said
he's a
earlier,
decent.
DeAndre Swift, if he really is going to miss a few weeks, like we're kind of saying you should prepare for. Jamal Williams, he's the running back 6 on the year for crying out loud.
This year
DeAndre,
sucks. This year
yeah,
sucks.
DeAndre Swift's running back 3. So Detroit, they looking stacked right now.
I was watching that game, and they said that Detroit had 17, going back to last year, had 17 straight quarters where they scored at some point in that quarter. So their offense can keep up, but their defense is rough, and they should have
Yeah.
beat the Vikings, and I wish they would have.
Um,
Bunch of losers.
Kirk Cousins finally got it going a little later on in that game. They won the game. They didn't really play that good. Justin Jefferson only 6 targets, 3 receptions for 14 yards. What you make of this?
Justin Jefferson sucks, and I hate him. I'm just
Yeah.
playing. he, I don't know, just wipe it off. Whatever, it's fine.
It
It's a
is what it
terrible game.
is.
It's just a terrible game. But what the hell are you gonna do about it?
And we said earlier, if Madison's probably on everybody's rosters, but if he is there, snag him.
Yeah, Madison. He's always great when he comes in when Cook is out, which is very frequently. So, um, yeah, he should be on somebody's roster.
Yesterday Lamar goes off. Dobbins, we finally get a J.K. Dobbins appearance. We've been laughing about this shit all year. About he's healthy, he's not. What you think though? 7 carries, 2 receptions. I think you know it's only gonna get
He's,
better. That's how I see it. I mean, first game back, I feel like you got to feel good about the whole J.K. Dobbins process.
yeah, this is exactly what we kind of said. First game back, going to be limited, not going to get a whole bunch of work.
Yep.
And but the running back for the Ravens, if he gets 15 carries a game or more, he's going to be great for fantasy. He's going to be probably top 10, top 12, RB1 if he once he starts easing back into it. I guess they had to ease him back into it after he missed a year and a half. That wasn't
Yeah.
enough. James Robinson been out there freaking putting dudes in body bags after like 6 months after an Achilles.
Yeah. Um. What do we think about this? Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris backfield, Mac Jones going down. What are we doing with these two guys this year?
Well, for this week, you remember that Buffalo game last year when they played Buffalo and it was like 100-mile-an-hour winds?
Yeah.
That's going to be this next game. Not the weather, but Mac Jones out. They play Green Bay. Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevens might get 20 touches apiece in the backfield.
So you playing them both?
I'm playing them this week. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but that's got to be their game plan is to just it ain't going to be as much as that game last year, but they're going to run both of them a lot, probably for the rest of the year.
Agreed. All right, let's move on. Cincinnati finally got it together, got them a win. Burrow played a little better. Yeah, it was just the Jets, so nothing to overreact about. But Boyd was the big winner. Every now and then that's going to happen. But I think what happened to Higgins? He have to come out again this game. He's dealing with
He
a
came
toe
out for just a
issue.
minute. He missed like a series. They thought he might have had a concussion. He took a bad looking hit. It was looking rough, but he came back in like the first quarter. He scored all his points in the first quarter and didn't do anything for the rest of the game. Which it wasn't a real competitive game. He had 5 receptions for 93. So solid day for him. Solid
Shoot,
quarter.
the big winner for the Bengals was that Bengals defensive special teams. I was playing them in multiple leagues. That joint was paying off.
Hey man, I got me a massive -4 points from my defense last
Woo.
week. Got
um,
started the Chargers against the Jaguars. I won't be doing that again.
the Jets, Brees Hall, 11 targets yesterday, 8 carries, 6 receptions on 11 targets. What are we thinking about this Brees Hall, Michael Carter? Carter with the more carries, Brees Hall with the receiving work.
Yeah. Brace Hall, if he gets the receiving work, then I guess he's an every week starter now because if he's game script proof, because the only thing you worry about with him is them not being able to stay competitive in games. But if he's getting that many receptions and that much work in the passing game, that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, I think in redraft leagues, I'd be looking to maybe see if I could try to buy Brees Hall. If
Yeah.
obviously in Dynasty, you're not going to, but
Yeah.
what do
Nobody's
we
getting rid
make?
of him.
Me and you've been keeping an eye on this receiving core as well this year. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, both had 10 targets. Pretty quiet days for the most part, though.
Yeah, they didn't do a whole bunch. Elijah Moore, in a previous episode, I said bench him and see what you see, and I would just keep benching him.
Yeah,
I don't think Zach Wilson coming back is going to help anybody. I think
yeah.
it's going to hurt him.
Move. Let's just move on to Las Vegas, Tennessee. Tennessee came out with a win. Both quarterbacks had okay games, some turnovers, but Derrick Henry, we talked about him earlier, bouncing back. I've been calling for it all to fall off. Been saying it. That theory didn't come true this weekend, but what's up? What do you think about it?
Derrick Henry is. I said it last week. I say it again. Go get him. Go get him. Their offensive line is looking worse. They're, you know, they're kind of beat up right now, but their schedule is very favorable. And if the Titans can compete, then you know he's going to have some really good games ahead, and they're going to keep feeding him the rock. So I'm trying to look up his game log, but I don't know. My thing ain't loading. Let me see.
Yeah, he
You guys, yeah,
yesterday he
Indeed and
had
Washington.
20 attempts, 85 yards,
Mm-hmm.
a touchdown, and he had 5 receptions. So
There's some good days coming for old Henry. You got the Colts, and then Washington, and the bye, then the Colts, Houston. Some good games coming up for him.
Devontae Adams, another so-so game, but still had 10
Ha
targets.
loser, loser. Go to the leave the Packers and go to the 0-3 Derek Carr led Raiders, and the Packers are just winning games, man. Should
Yep.
have stayed. Should have stayed.
Uh, Anything we want to talk about with Philly and Washington? Jalen Hurts is the bomb.
I want to talk about the Raiders a little bit more.
Oh,
Not to
go
hate
for it.
on them, but Hunter Renfro missed with a concussion. But what do you do with him
Man,
a
he.
year
Mm.
from here?
I mean, what do you think? Are you dropping him? I
Uh,
mean,
I think you're playing him when he comes back. He's only had really one real week of play so far, and that was the week that Adams had 17 targets or whatever it was, week one. So
yeah.
I still think he's going to be fine. That's just me though.
I'm starting to come off that bandwagon. I was all right with them during the off season, but now I'm starting to see. I'm just wondering. It's
Yeah,
tough though. It's tough.
I think I'd play him the week he comes back this week. I think I'd just throw him right back out there. That's a flex. They're
Anything
doubling the
else?
hell out of Devontae right now, man. They're not letting Devontae get nothing. And Darren Waller, shout out to Levi. He's been a bust.
Yeah, he did have a good week too, but yeah, for the most part, you're right. Philly and Washington. Jalen Hurts goes off. Uh, Anything let's just say what are we making of this wide receiver core for Washington? Curtis Samuel still had 10 targets, 7 receptions, 3 carries yesterday. McLaurin still, he did nothing in the first half, but then just, you know, went off. Dotson still had 8 targets. I mean, what are we doing
Yeah,
with these guys?
Dotson almost reminds me of Devontae Smith from last year, where it's kind of like, you want to play him, but the targets really ain't all there. But he's so touchdown dependent, and it just has to be. Curtis Samuel is matchup proof, in my opinion. He's got a good floor. You can start him every week. He might not go off for you, but Jahan Dotson, if they're playing a good team, he shouldn't be in your lineup.
Man, dang, CD just dropped a. I don't even know, man.
Did
Probably
he?
could even
I get you.
score.
Oh, he dropped it.
He dropped it. CD
Come on.
just dropped a wide open ball, man. Makes me want to just come on, dude. Man, let's just move on, man. Talk about another game. Jacksonville Chargers. Trevor Lawrence balling so hard, looking good.
He is he looking like an NFL quarterback this year. He
Um,
Jacksonville's looking pretty hot.
Travis Etienne, a buy low candidate for me. I say go snag him. It ain't too late.
You Just give up, Matt. Come on,
That
it's
second half of the
over.
year,
James
y'all gonna be
Robinson's
regretting
back,
it.
man. James
That's gonna.
Robinson's back. He's too good. He's
James
too
Robinson is
good.
back. Has played wonderful.
It, I
We
gotta
talk.
ask you a question,
Let's go.
and this is for everybody about James Robinson. If James Robinson was a first round draft pick, would you even say anything about ETN? Switch places. ETN's undrafted. James Robinson was a first rounder.
I would still
James
say
Robinson.
ETN's better.
James Robinson just gets the hate. He's still getting hated on because of his draft capital. That's
Man,
it. Or lack of draft capital at all. But
shoot, ain't nobody hating on James Robinson.
yeah, but loving on ETN is hating. You're cheating. You're cheating on James Robinson to get with ETN. That's hate. That's,
ETN's a bad man.
yeah.
Even Marvin Jones had 7 targets from Trevor Lawrence yesterday.
Trevor Lawrence spread this love, man. Sunshine.
Uh, Rams, Cardinals. I mean, it was definitely not the game I was expecting. I was kind of expecting a lot of points, but Cooper Cup,
It
even
was
in
a shit game.
yeah,
It
Cooper
was
Cup,
a shit
even
game.
though when he ain't getting the receptions, rushing touchdowns, so he's the man. Cam Akers got a little more work yesterday
He did. He did.
and scored a
Yeah.
touchdown, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He got 60, was it 61 yards and touchdown.
Yep.
And I'm just done. I'm done with the backfield overall. If I had Akers, I don't have Akers, so I have Henderson. I'm done with him. I'm not playing him. I'm gonna keep him rostered as a handcuff only. What do you do with Akers though? Do you start him or do you
Nah,
even?
you know where I'm at. I ain't playing. I probably ain't playing neither one of these guys. I was pretty set on Henderson though. I would have
Me too.
started him if I had him last week.
Yep, he got 1 point. So I'm like I was listening to our previous episode, and it said, it don't matter what we think; it matters what Sean McVay does. So it don't matter who we think's better. It's just four
Yep.
carries ain't going to do anything, and they were
Are,
winning.
are we concerned with the running game from Arizona?
Yeah, they never did have one though. I felt like James Conner, you didn't pick him in your draft because you were like, man, he's unstoppable on the ground. He's always been like a 3.5 yards per carry guy. But the main thing with him is his touchdowns have just vanished because they're losing by 20 at halftime. So
Yeah.
I think Connor is. I think he's still an every week start because he still catches passes. But I think better days are coming when he gets a matchup. They play Carolina this week, so I think he's going to score this week, maybe
Hollywood
once or twice.
Hollywood Brown going off. Your boy called it. Falcons, Seahawks. This game was higher scoring than
Dortch,
um
Dortch.
I believe the higher scorer in the game. Oh, Dortch. What do you think about Dortch then? I asked you about him after week 1.
Yeah, I'd say start him until Hopkins comes back.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't really
Yeah,
think Rondell Moore is gonna push into that. I think Dortch is just he's just the guy.
I don't know why Rondell wasn't on IR. Why was he not on IR?
Man, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah.
Cordell Patterson, higher scorer of the game. Let's see. Metcalf had 17 points. Drake London looking like a star. Kyle Pitts got back into the action. Just a regular old Falcons Seahawks game. That's how I see it.
Regular old, so two crappy teams, so crappy that they make each other look like they're good NFL teams and a
um,
good game.
Kenneth Walker, he's starting to get a little play time just for dynasty purposes, monitored it. But Rashad Penny didn't do what I was thinking. I thought he might have a good
Give
game
him
versus
the
the Falcons.
ball. Give Rashad Penny the ball.
Man, he's trash.
What are they doing, dude? Like, what are they? What in the hell are they doing?
Shoot, man. And then we got Green Bay, Tampa Bay, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Couldn't do much.
Oh, Mm-hmm.
This whole
Did you bet on that game last weekend? Because I wanted to text you and say please take the under of that game.
Nah, I didn't put any money on that game. I would have
That
put
was easy.
I would have
That
done
was
the
an easy
under.
one. Yeah, it
Uh
was like 40 or
what you call it?
something.
Dubs? What are we doing with Dubs?
You're rostering him and putting him on your bench.
8 targets, 8 receptions, 8 targets yesterday, and a touchdown.
Yeah, but I guess Sammy Watkins is on IR, so he'll be out for 4 weeks. Christian Watson, I don't know, he's a baby. He can't get out on the field. Ever since he's been drafted, he's been hurt.
Yeah.
And Dubs he looks very talented, and he's clicking with Rodgers. So if you want to start him and take the chance, they play New England. Not the worst matchup. You can throw him out there.
Are we concerned with this backfield? AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones.
Absolutely not, man. I think everybody knew when they came in that game against Tampa that it wasn't going to be pretty.
Yep. I mean, pretty much the same thing with Tampa Bay. Russell Gage was the higher scorer. I don't really. I mean, I feel like. I mean, he had 13 targets, 12 receptions, 13 targets, and a touchdown. Shoot, sell him if you can. I mean, I really don't see no value in Russell Gage, to be honest.
Nah, Evans will be back. Godwin is probably a week or two out, and then he might be the wide receiver 3 for this team when they get back. But I still think if when Julio gets healthy, they'll be splitting a little bit. So it's not like the role Antonio Brown had with him in previous years, and
Sunday
he's not
night.
Antonio Brown either. So
Yeah, and Sunday night football, we had a little poop fest between the 49ers and
baseball.
the. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got to this game because I'm starting to wonder, is Russell Wilson washed, man? I mean, been starting to wonder it for 2 weeks now. I mean, I think obviously it's got to get better at some point. San Francisco has a pretty good defense, but Russ,
Mhm.
man, hasn't really looked all that good.
Well, what you think of Russell Wilson fantasy wise for the rest of the year? What are you doing with him?
Man, I'm dropping him.
You're no, that's
I'll take Trevor Lawrence over Russell Wilson.
I'm not dropping him. I think this is first year with the new coach, dude. I'm I'm saying
He looks fat.
after we give him till bench him until about week 7, see what happens. See if this offense just look with your eyes and listen with your ears when you watch the game, and just see if this offense is clicking and looks better. And if they're getting more comfortable, then there's so many weapons on this team, man.
Carson Wentz or Russell
I think
Wilson?
by week 7 and a half, he'll be fine. Russell Wilson.
I,
Not
I
right now. I'm telling you, these next couple of weeks, I'm not playing them from like week 4 to 7 or 8. But like, I guess in redraft from 8 to 12 ain't great, but still,
yeah.
I'd hold on to them still. With so many weapons on that team.
Um, Javante.
Sutton's putting in work.
Yep, Sutton is doing work. 8 for 10, 97 yards. Judy a quiet day. Judy's hurt though right now, right?
Yeah, he played most of that game, but yeah, he's dealing with some rib issues.
Debo
So
and
it don't take
IU.
much to get to Jerry Judy's ribs. You have 10 minutes
Yeah, Debo, IU,
with
12
the
points a
eat.
pop. Just a low scoring game yesterday, man. A low scoring game. Uh, you know, not much to really even say
Yeah,
about that game. And then we got Monday Night Football going on right now, and I just
yeah.
seen.
Debo is.
Go for it. Say what you got to say about Debo.
See, what did you say about CD?
CD's dropping pass.
What
I'm
do you
just
do?
looking
Drop
at.
another ball?
No, not another one.
Mm.
It's a 6-3 ball game. Ain't nothing happening.
You were having like technical difficulties right when you were like CD just and then you went out, and I was like, what did CD do?
Saquon having a
But
quiet game so
as long as
far too.
Pollard isn't doing
Pollard's doing work.
it, as long as he gets over 22 reception yards this game, I'll be happy.
Dang.
And
That's a
Daniel Jones needs to throw an interception.
mm.
But he has zero reception yards.
Yeah.
Great,
0 for 1.
great. Go. Hey man, it might come all in one play though.
Well, shoot, man. What
But
you got anything to say for this week 3 that just happened? Like, what do we anything you got to say? Like, buy lows.
I want to overreact for a minute. I need to ask you a few questions about just some players and what you're doing. So just tell me if you're benching them, if you're dropping them, if you're starting them. All right. So I got Allen Robinson. What you doing with him?
He's on my roster, but
He
I
sucks.
I still wouldn't freak out, man. Not yet.
You start him this week.
And I hadn't. Ooh, nah, I can't do that, man. I would
Allen
just have to
Robinson.
see my roster first, but
Okay. How do you feel about some of these? We're just going this first round this year has been sucky. So how do you feel about Kamara at this point? Like first, second round running backs you taking?
man, totally concerned about Kamara. This dude could be done. We could be watching it right here. I'm telling you, man, there's a new wave of running backs coming in. Like these guys, Dalvin, Kamara, Aaron Jones, they on the way out. Kamara really is looking like it right now, but he's hurt, so got to give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit, but
Yeah.
still.
They keep running Mark Ingram in the red zone too. Mark
Yep.
Ingram just keeps getting work. I don't understand. So
Def-
Kamara not feeling good. Eckler, how you feeling about Eckler?
Not good. Not good. Alarming. We need to start adding some graphics and sound effects to this. I'm worried about Eckler. I'm just being honest. He's not going to get the touchdowns like you said earlier. He's only getting receiving work, not really getting many carries.
Yeah, he's pretty rough. So Najee, you feel about the same about him? Just
Man,
whatever. Gonna
it
score
is,
about 12 points a week for you.
it is what it is. Najee solid.
Mixon.
Man, I think Mixon will be better because I think the Bengals are going to start getting it around a little bit. But that offense is definitely going to start looking better. I know he had a bad week last week, but it is what it is. I feel okay about Mixon still.
Okay. All right. Here's your DJ Moore. What are you doing with him?
Man,
Redraft.
I'm just going to be honest. You might have to
How
drop
long do
his
you wait till
ass.
you drop him if he keeps you drop him now?
Look, I ain't going to drop him now, but man, that's like my biggest swing and a miss. I had him ranked 12 coming into the year. That's
Yeah.
just I'm gonna be honest. Sell him if you can. You never know. Somebody might go out there and take him, but sheesh.
Yeah. Would you trade DJ Moore for I don't know, Jahan Dotson?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That bad?
I think there's
That's how,
definitely it's bad, man. I think Baker Mayfield. I say it all the time. I'm not a Baker Mayfield hater, but golly, he looked so bad the other day. First time I really got a good look at him, and he was awful.
yeah, they've been hiding him on the TV on Red Zone for a reason. They don't want you to see it,
Yeah,
how
something
bad it is.
definitely
Yeah,
bad.
they look good. Man, the Panthers in general, I think Baker, as much as I want to hate on him for just being Baker Mayfield, he needs I think he'd be all right with like the 49ers system or something.
Yeah,
But the Panthers head coach Matt Rule and their offensive scheme is just not good enough to make Baker a good quarterback. He
Ben
can't overcome that.
McAdoo is the offensive
He can't
coordinator.
overcome that. Man.
Yeah,
He can't overcome that. You worried at all about Justin Jefferson, or you just it's
no,
just
it is what it
not
is.
not in the slightest.
Mm-mm. He'll be
Okay.
fine.
So he'll be just fine. You said, what about Gabe Davis? He had one bad game. You still just rolling him out there every week.
Yeah. Yep.
Brandon Cooks.
Look, I just started Cordero Patterson over Brandon Cooks, and it paid off. Cooks is just like that play. You throw him out there if you need somebody there, and he's not going to goose egg you. Even though he had a pretty down week this past week, but there's no upside with Cooks really.
Yeah. Okay. ETN, you starting him or you benching him?
Look, I ain't starting him, but I'm trying to buy low on his ass. I'll definitely take me some ETN. Perfect buy low candidate. That's as good as it gets. I want him in the average Joe leagues. I want him. Give him to me.
No.
You
You,
just totally
you
off.
could have him, but I don't have him. I would get rid of him if I could get rid of him. Man, James Robinson is the dude, man.
Yeah, he's definitely the guy.
Is
There's
the
no doubt
dude.
about it.
So we get. I know you about Clyde. You know, I know how you feel about him. So
Yep.
you're gonna
Sell
buy
it.
low with Clyde.
I'm gonna sell
Yeah.
high with
I know, not
Clyde.
buy. Yeah, you're gonna sell high with Clyde. Javante, you worried at all? He's
Man,
not what you drafted for. Got a
mm,
lot of work though in the passing game.
yeah, I would say not really. I'm not really worried about any of the young running backs. Like I'm not even worried about someone like Dobbins, Damian Pierce. I'm not really worried about him. Any of these guys, Swift, Williams. Even though Swift's probably about to be out, I mean, I feel like you had to know he was going to be out. All those young running backs, I'm just keeping them. I mean, loving on them and
Yeah,
everything.
loving on him and everything. So I think, and so far, I would say my biggest swing and a miss. Yours was DJ Moore. Mine has been Allen Robinson. He had a decent week too, but Allen Robinson looks. It was a debate on whether he was like washed or if it was Chicago, and it's looking more like he might just be washed.
Yeah, it's definitely not
So
looking good. You know where I stand. I wouldn't freak out on it yet.
yeah, I don't know if I can start him. I don't know if I can start him no more, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's looking kind of dicey when it comes to that right now. But AJ Dillon, you good? You good with him? You think better days?
Better days, yep. Agreed.
Miles Sanders.
Nah, man, I'm looking for another option with Miles Sanders. I think he looks good whenever they give him the ball, but they don't give it to him.
I look at him about like I think he still could start him. The touchdowns probably ain't gonna be there, but would you start Singletary? Would you be more comfortable with Singletary every week or Sanders?
Yeah, Singletary.
Probably Singletary.
That's what I'm thinking right
I don't
now.
think he's going to catch 10 balls a game, but
I feel like
I
they
like.
kind of unlocked it with Singletary. He's gonna definitely see more receptions. I feel like.
Yeah. How you feel about Judy? This offense,
I
this
just
Denver
think
offense is bad.
I think Judy. I feel okay with Judy, assuming it just all comes down to Russ, man. I got some major concerns about Russ. Judy will be fine if Russ can step it up, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I think this offense will probably get unlocked the second half of the year, but we're going to have a couple growing pains still here for a couple weeks. And
Yeah.
looking at quarterbacks, like if you drafted them, we'll just end it with these quarterbacks, man. How you feel about Burrow?
I mean, he bounced back. I mean, I said at the beginning of the year we were drafting this dude at his. I mean, his ADP was the quarterback four at times. I just couldn't get on with that. So he definitely hasn't lived up to his ADPs, I'd say.
Yeah. Stafford, what about Stafford? Stafford is the QB 24
Yeah.
right
Mm.
now.
And dynasty leagues, it's probably too late to sell him, but dang, it would have been a perfect time to sell Stafford like right after he won the Super Bowl. But yep. Obviously for
Behind
a cup.
Trubisky.
Say
That
what?
cannot be. I said he's behind Trubisky. How's that right? Has he done worse than Russ?
He's been pretty bad. Didn't do good yesterday either.
I'm looking up fantasy points this year. Lamar's number one, Josh Allen number two, Hurts number three. That's right. I cannot believe that Stafford is behind Russell Wilson. He's behind Baker.
Mm.
What in the hell is going on here? I
I
knew he
don't.
was bad. I didn't know he was that bad. and Rodgers is number 25 behind Stafford. So
Yeah. Yep.
and Tom Brady's not even on the list of top
Nah,
25
man.
quarterbacks. How Phil feeling about that, huh? I'd like to talk about Phil with his Tom Brady number 4 QB ranking. Y'all
Gonna have
hating
to
on me for having him so.
gonna have to bring him in. He ain't had no guys though.
Hey, at least he's winning.
Hey, it is what
Somebody's
it
winning.
is. Well, what you think, man? About wraps it up.
Yeah, this next week. Yeah, about wraps it up. We just had to. I think this episode was more of just like a reset on
Yep.
just
Recapping it.
from the start of the year with what we thought was going to happen, and then we're kind of telling everybody what we think from here on, from week 3 on, instead of from the start of the season because we kind of got more information. So
Yep.
just wanted to get your info about how you felt about some players that people probably teetering on right now
Yep.
and what
Yep.
to do with.
So check out this episode. It was a pretty good one. We like to break it down. We'll be breaking down week 4 here though. After the day, it's over with. We move on. Might talk about Monday Night
Yep.
Football a little bit, but other than that, it is what it is. We moving on to week 4. So add the podcast. Add me on Twitter at Hamm, the Cruise Dynasty Podcast. Check us out. Listen to it. 5-star review. Anything else to say to these people?
We got some information now, so like when we do our week 4, we're just going to be 100% correct on everything we say.
No doubt. No doubt.
I got to take that back, bro. We're going to be wrong about some things, but we're going to be right more than we are wrong.
More right than wrong. No doubt about it.
I think we did pretty good last week when I re-listened to it. I thought we did pretty good.
We've been pretty dead on about some things.
Yeah. Been some swings and misses.
Been some misses too, but yep. Well, shoot, man, that about wraps it up, man. I say we out.
Peace.